All right, back fences. We are back at it. The 18th of January, the year of our Lord 2024. Donny Sports, Roasty, here together. How are you, brother? You're at.
I'm very good.
And you're back from the States, and you're back at the Caxton.
Yeah, the best and greatest pub on the planet, the Caxton Hotel. Very excited to be back. I recorded a pod last night, watched the boys' sports show last night, getting a little bit sad that I'm going back to Townsville, but I am excited to go back to Townsville, but the Caxton's a very nice place to be. It's very fun to be here. I can't believe they let me just use their shit all the time here, the Bloody Room Beers Boys. I don't know what I've ever done for them, but they're just nice guys, I guess.
Oh, I don't know. Nice guys. That Clutzy's a bit of a fuckwit. Oh, there he is. No. See him in the background there. But no, they're good blokes. Scotty Minto's statue downstairs as well. You've always got to touch the hand of God down there.
You got to shake hands with Minto on your way up every day. You're not going to have a good pod unless you brush his head. That's what they told me when I first started here. But mate, have you been, man? You've been down in Penrith.
I have. I ventured out west. Got a call and said that the Panthers are going to be presented that WWE Championship that they promised last year. So jumped in the car, did an 8-hour round trip out to Penrith from Parks. So I was like, I can't stay the night. I had to get up early and head out there. But yeah, got out there. Grayson Waller, Aussie's Australia's own Grayson Waller, along with LA Knight, we're out there to present the championship belt. And mate, it is a beauty too.
Is there a bit of weight to it?
Oh, very, very heavy. I've got a couple of replica belts here. So I've got the old Smoking Skull Steve Austin one there. It's a full replica, so it's like the same weight and everything like that as the normal belt. And then I've got the big gold here, which is just plastic. It's very light. You can just throw that around. But this one felt even heavier. It was a proper replica of their current Universal Championship that they've got, and it is massive, very heavy. Even Scotty Sorensen, they were getting photos, and we said, "Mate, hold it up like you're holding up the trophy, holding up the belt in a wrestling ring." And he did, and he was probably only hold it for like 30 seconds. He's like, "Can I put this down now? It's got a bit of weight." So even the boys are struggling with it a little bit, but yeah, it looked good.
It was such a good post because it was like a classic roasty post where I'm like, of course he's got these photos first. And I'm flicking through, I'm like, oh shit, he's there. Here's some on the ground journalism that you were doing.
I bumped into Zach Bailey about a year ago, and just sort of started DMing each other. And he was there, and he's come up and said good day. And then Grayson actually just started blistering him with comments about his shirt and stuff like that. If you look at, I think it's like Channel 9, like his report on it, and Grayson's just blasting him. We're just having a good laugh behind the camera. I was trying to capture it, and then he's come over to me. He goes, "I was there," and he's blasting me, and I look up and I see the phone in your hand, filming it. And he goes, "Oh no, I'm just going to be all over the roast channel now." And I'm like, "Nah, I didn't caught the end of it, so I didn't worry about it." But it was a good day. Yeah, it was good fun, and my first real sort of venture into that media side of, because it was only media. It wasn't a fan day. It wasn't outside public sort of allowed in. So it was good to get a little bit in the back area, and also great to meet some of the Panthers media team and some of their staff. They were really nice, and I had a couple come over say they're big fans, and I was like, oh no, look, reach out and continue like a conversation through DMs, because I know like if I've got them as a personal contact, it makes it a little bit easier to get access to things as well. So
they can be quite strange events when it's just like the media. I remember I was at the Dolphins jersey launch at Suncorp Stadium, and like it's just a dead quiet, and then all the cameras show up out of nowhere. Like they let them all in at one time, take all their photos, take all their videos, try and hassle everyone, and then they all scurry off to the next thing all at once. It's like, what just happened? That was
just like this big horde come in and 20 minutes.
Yeah, they're just gone like that.
Where I turned up at like 11 o'clock because I didn't want to be late. It was meant to start at 12. They're all turned up at like 5 to 12. I turned up like an hour early, just sitting there like a dumbass. And then at the end, I'm sort of just wandering around like, okay, do I leave? Hang around? What do we, is there drinks? What's going on? Everyone's just sort of leaving. Like, okay, I think I'll just go now.
That would have been a sick day.
Yeah, no, it was good. Great day. And the wrestlers were great. They had a lot of fun with the boys. I know Grayson's a massive Roosters fan. He's a massive rugby league fan, so he's seen it all before. But LA Knight, he was a big guy too. He matched it up against some of the forwards there. and it's the first time he's ever seen rugby league. So got a little bit of content dropping with him later on as well. I spoke with him and
cool.
Gave him a couple of questions. So that'll be coming out shortly. But yeah, great
Awesome.
fun. And it was
love that.
mad.
He's on fire right now.
Yeah, I love
all the comments on the post were all about him.
What's that?
All the comments on the post were all about LA Knight. He's just on fire right now.
Oh, massive. I listened to a podcast on the way down to Penrith, and him last year was the highest selling merch for WWE.
Yeah, right.
And
wow.
He said, he even goes, I had 3 items. He said, Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, these guys selling all year, top of the table, have hundreds of items.
Yeah,
and he's outselling them with 3 items, which I think would like 3
That's
shirts.
Craziness.
So
that's craziness.
Crazy. So he goes, I don't want to bring a lot out just to flood the market just because I can. He goes, I want to, if I'm doing a shirt or if I'm doing a piece of merchandise, I'll do it for the right reasons, which is good. But yeah, he's been around a while. He's on, I think he's like 41. So
yeah,
good on him for getting up there, and he's going to be champion one day. Can't wait.
Yeah, for sure. So also in the NRL world, these rule changes are really grabbing people's attention.
They are. A lot of talk about this.
Knee-jerk, pretty intense reactions to these rule changes. I originally, the first time I read through it, I wasn't too phased by it. I was actually in here. I asked Klutz and Das. They both said they hated it. And then I get on my phone. Guru hated it. Everyone that I saw online that I posted it on my story. I got a lot of inboxes saying they hated it. I didn't have this knee-jerk reaction that I hated them so much. So basically the one that's getting a lot of attention is from the short dropout, if the ball goes out on the full or doesn't make the 10 metres, it's just a play the ball on the 10-metre line instead of the 2-point penalty shot from directly in front. I all season last year and the year before when they first started doing it was a little bit like for flex. I thought that the 2 points from directly in front was a bit of a harsh penalty for kicking it out on the full. I have been told, though, they have a pretty big area to land the ball in instead of kicking it out on the full. So I get that. But I just think 2 points directly in front, I just don't know if that penalty is really the same weight as what the action is.
The way, I thought of it as we're almost more rewarding the team that's kicking it shit. Like we're rewarding the shit team because they're getting out of it without facing that penalty. The threat of that penalty is now gone. Best case scenario, they get the ball back. Worst case scenario, they give the ball away on the 10-metre line as they play the ball, and they get to set their line. Right, so it's really almost risk-free for them to do it. I
don't know if I totally subscribe to this idea of it's risk-free. Like they still have to try and get the ball back, right? And it's not 2 options; it's 3 options. It's they get the ball back. They don't get the ball back because it goes short or out, or the other team gets the ball anyway. So I don't think it's this. And I understand you'd probably rather have the ball on the 30-metre line than the 10-metre line statistically and all that, and you get to set your line, and getting the ball on the 10-metre line is probably not the best place to have it. Like how many times, I know the Cowboys are famously horrendous from inside the 20, like they just can't score from that area, so the rule doesn't help me whatsoever, but I just don't know. I think it's probably gone too far, but I would like to see it be a penalty, just like when they get the option where they can kick for goal or take a tap from the point where the ball goes out or doesn't go short. So if you want to take the 2, it doesn't go directly in front. I feel like that's too easy and too much of a punishment. But I still feel like, say they kick it short 10 metres, like Latrell goes to kick the ball 10 metres, it doesn't go the 10 metres. I think it's a penalty from the spot where the infringement happens. So they might be kicking for goal from 20 metres to the left of the post, and they can obviously take the ball back as much as they want, or they can have the option to take the tap from that spot. I just don't really like 2 points direct, like an automatic 2 points. I feel like there should still be a bit of gamesmanship.
Tap it and run. They can still tap it and run. Try to go for a try, but I think they need to have that penalty there. If you're a team, you're attacking that line, and you've earned a repeat set, and then they have. Okay, fair enough. Not necessarily risk-free, but they have the chance to then get the ball back and they try that and they fuck it up. You should be able to then go, I want to take the 2 because I've earned a repeat set. They're not good enough to try and get the ball back. made a mistake.
But do you think
I
from
want to
directly in
benefit from
front?
that mistake.
Do you think the two from like right in front though?
Well, that's where the infringement actually happens because they're kicking the ball
that's
from
where
that
they're kicking
point,
it from
right?
that point. Yeah,
And I like that when it comes to when they kick the ball and then there's a foul. I think it happened famously in the Easter Monday game between the Bulldogs and Rabbitohs, where James Graham went to the legs of Adam Reynolds and the ball went where the penalty went where the ball landed.
Yeah,
and because it was just a goal kicking drop goal attempt, he actually got the penalty right in front, which was it's one of those weird rules that happens, but it's a bit of a thing. But I like this. I liked it the old way when it came to dropouts.
Okay.
I'd actually like this rule for kickoffs.
Run through what the kickoff rule is.
If you go for a short kickoff and it doesn't come off, to give away a penalty where they kick it 30 metres upfield, then take a hit up and they're already in the opposition 20, that's a bit harsh.
So what has the rule been changed to now?
Now it's just to play the ball, I believe, on 10 metres out on the halfway line, or 10 metres out on the 40. I'm not exactly sure. It does say if the team kicks a ball out on the full over the touch line, or it fails to travel 10 metres from the halfway line off a kickoff, play will now restart with a play the ball 10 metres out from the line of the kick and 10 metres in from touch.
Yeah, okay.
So I assume that's just on the halfway line, 10 metres in. But we'll wait and see when it actually happens. Or I'm sure Graham Ennisley will come out and explain it next week in a video.
Do you feel like this has stemmed from, so the highest risk of concussion in the NFL has time and time again been proven that it's off the kickoff. And so it's normally like you think about Origin, you think about Grand Finals, that's the biggest collision of the game most of the time is off the kickoff. Do you think that this is a bit of a heads-up play by the NRL to probably try and tempt teams into attempting a short kickoff more often to lessen the chance of a concussion based on the fact that they're probably going to get, 20 metres head of steam running directly into each other? Like, realistically, a kickoff is probably the most dangerous part of a game, and it's probably a bit unnecessary too. Do you think there's a bit of that in this?
Oh, 100%. They've been probably talking about this for years. Yeah. And it's just the time is right now. I think Physio tweeted about it in regards to the impacts and things like that. And you've got to get ahead of it if you don't. Otherwise, we're going to be in trouble when it comes to like the NFL is at the moment. I also did see this, which I'll just open up. I've seen on Instagram from the league eye test about how many actual kickoffs we've had, the short kickoffs. So from the 2023 NRL season, approximately 54% of dropouts were kicked short.
Yeah, wow.
And around one in four of those were recovered. Team that was leading recovered 2% more often than a team trailing. And when teams where the scores were tied, recovery was up 3%. So, at the moment, we're getting half the kicks from dropouts to be short kickoffs, which is exciting in itself.
Well, I like the short dropout personally. I think it's interesting to watch but I do understand. Maybe I do like it because there is such a risk that if it doesn't come off, it's going to be 2 points from right in front. But I do like the contest.
Again,
people are going to be signing 7-foot wingers very soon.
Yeah, we're just going to see all these basketball players just come over to NRL. But if you see now, like when they drop it out and it goes, let's say 50 metres, they're running it back. They're getting to the 30.
Yeah.
Within the second
Every
tackle,
time.
they're in that 20.
Yeah.
So why not go for it? Teams have worked out how to defend better on that try line anyway now.
Yeah.
See it all the time. They were giving away 6 agains all the time because they knew how to defend there. So I don't mind it.
I think everyone always go straight to Penrith with all these. Whenever something happens in the league, they go, "Oh, but this won't really affect Penrith." Like, no offense to the Dragons, I don't know how good your try line defense is. Do you really think you're going to be "Oh, great, let's just be giving them the ball on the 10-meter line every time"? I don't think it's going to happen as often as people think. Sure, Penrith probably will, and there's a lot of chat about maybe people will just start booting the ball directly out. There probably will be times where that happens, but I just think the idea that a team can withstand constant defense on their a team like Penrith are probably happy to give up the ball a couple times, but the idea that they're going to go for 5 of these in a row if they get 5 back, it's just not going to happen.
No.
It's just simply not going to happen.
So yeah,
well, maybe it will. What do I know? But
I'm
not as outraged as what
for
I'm saying.
The penalty on a dropout to stay there. But look, I'm not totally opposed to this move. I think at the moment we've got a rise in, like they've shown, a rise in short dropouts. We're going to see a little bit more. I think with teams now not facing that risk of giving away a penalty right in front, they'll take the risk a bit more. And yeah, and I think probably see a lot more from the kickoff as well. Which again,
it's exciting.
It makes it a little bit more exciting. I just don't like how it does take away from a little bit a team attacking, gets a repeat set. They're going to lose. They're going to lose out a little bit. But overall, I think give it a season, see how it goes, see if it makes that big of a difference.
If it's awful, they'll wind it back. If it turns out to be this massive game-breaking, insanely big mistake, they'll wind it back. They always do.
Yeah.
So
always backtrack.
They're not going to. It will be so interesting if the pictures being painted right now is like they're going to be wheeling out special teams every dropout. Yep. And there's going to be a complete change in. I just can't. I personally can't see it. I also think when there is a penalty given off a short dropout, not making the 10 meters, something that the NRL has probably considered is it's such a dead time in the game because, okay, the ball's gone dead. We're waiting. They've kicked the ball. We're waiting for them to do the dropout. Now it hasn't gone. A penalty's been blown. Now they're going to kick for 2. Now we're going, okay, it's been awarded. Now the other team's going to take it all the way up to the other field and kick off. That's just like 4 minutes of really nothingness, right? With this, we're kind of just straight back into the game.
Yeah. So there are pros and cons with this, so it'll be interesting to see how it all pans out over the next season.
I can't wait to be completely wrong during the preseason challenge when it instantly fucks the game.
One thing I will say is at least they've just gone, right, they've gone to all the other teams. They've all said yes. They've got it done. They haven't gone, let's trial it in the preseason, then bring it in halfway through the year or whatever. Yeah. It's like just adamant, bang, done, and we move on, right? And it's like you've got all preseason to train. You're
it's
sorted,
really weird to not be trialing it in preseason now that you have the preseason challenge, and it's a big thing. Like they were trialing rules last year, and I feel like they're trialing rules the year before as well. Like that's a perfect time to be testing these rules. Yeah. So it is a bit bold to just go, all right, we're on, but I don't know.
Let's wait and see, mate. You're at the home of the Caxton, the home of the Brisbane Broncos in the city of Brisbane. There, mate. Tell us, what news are they coming out of their Vegas trip?
For these boys, or the Brisbane Broncos?
For the Broncos boys. Yeah, no, I'm not worried about Clutzy and Das. Screw them.
Yeah, the Broncos boys. You need to put air tags on them. But the Broncos boys, the news is that Kevin Walters has come out and said there's going to be no curfew after the games are played, which I love. I love this. I love this so much.
Why? For the content that's going to come out of it? Or
well, okay. I love it and I can be one of the biggest Brisbane haters in the world, but I think that rugby league's better when Brisbane are going well, as much as that it hurts for that to leave my lips. Last year, Darcy actually said on the pod, what they need is for the boys to get into the Caxton, get a good piss up together, and then they'll go well. That's exactly what the Broncos did. They obviously can't be the Caxton this year, so they're going to go have a big piss up in Vegas, all come together, and they'll probably go well again off the back of it. I don't think that it's going to be the Broncos that are going to be the ones that act up. I just don't see it. I can't see it. I know there's a lot of chat about Reece Walsh. I think Reece has calmed down personally. I think Reece is not going to be the one to cause up a stir. And they're going all the way over there. I think what Kevy's decided is, all right, I don't want them to go around the back of me. They're going to go out. It's going to happen. So we might as well just have a blanket rule. We don't care. Yeah.
I think it's funny how he's had to actually say it. Like, obviously, he's probably been asked a question from a journalist, and they've he could just avoid it and just said, oh, no, we haven't even talked about it, and just let it go. But the fact that he came out and said it, because none of the other teams are coming out saying we've got a curfew or there's no curfew or anything like that.
Well, he's put a lot of pressure on Trent Robinson, hasn't he? He's put a lot of pressure on the other coaches because now everyone wants to be on the cool bus. Everyone wants to be up the back of the bus with the Broncos. I don't know if Siebes has the same mentality going into this. So all the other teams now, you'd really want to be on the Broncos side. Spencer Leno's gone to the wrong team.
Yeah. What about like a player that's signed or like Spencer Leniu, halfway through the season. Then they got picked. These teams got picked to go to Vegas, and they're just sitting there going, "I get to go to Vegas for a preseason, for a first game. Amazing."
Surely that was included in some contract negotiations. Just by the way, we're going to Vegas. Spare a thought for guys like Jackie White.
$50,000 pay cut. Why is that? Oh, because I get to go to Vegas for round one.
I'll make it back on the tables anyway, big fella. Don't worry. Spare a thought for Jackie Whiten, who's been suspended and will not. I don't know if he's making the trip or not. What a game to miss out on.
I bumped into a mate whose brother plays. He used to play for the Spacemen and plays in the development squads for South, and he's out rehabbing, so he misses it, but he still gets to go on the trip.
Oh, really?
So the Souths are actually taking. They might be taking like not a full 30 squad, but they'll be taking like extra people, even ones that won't play, just to give them the feel of that round one and get them in the side. So he's a lucky fella. He's rehabbing and he still gets to go to Vegas. So
I think it is a bold move. There's going to be a scandal come out of this. And to be honest, the game probably needs a scandal to come out of this. We've spoken about it before. That's what we need. We need to go over there and show them what real rugby league is. If you ask me, it's been a crazy off-season in the fact that there's been no scandals. Yeah. There's been nothing. The boys have been on their best behaviour. Could it be because they're saving up something nice and juicy for Vegas? Probably.
Well, they're actually... Every time players would go over to Vegas in the off-season, they're safe, right? Even if they do cause a bit of a stir, get in a little bit of a punch-up, whatever, and they just walk away, there's no one there going, oh, my God, that's XYZ from this team, right? And they're pulling out their phone. They're just going, it's just some beefed-up dude who... can't handle Vegas or whatever, so they don't care too much. Now, there's going to be a lot more rugby league fans from Australia over there that will be looking for them. And unfortunately for them, that is just the life we live, where they're going to have their phones. They're going to be wanting them to fuck up and have a scandal, so they can whip out their phone and film it. But hopefully not. Hopefully they just go over there and have a good time, and I don't know, maybe yell an obscenity to some old lady or something, and we just get that instead.
It's a massive balls to the wall move by Kevy though. But you can't put a curfew on them, because then all of a sudden now they've broken curfew, because that's what's going to happen.
Yes.
if you might as well just admit defeat before the battle begins in this situation, because what's the point of trying to tell Pat Carrigan and Jordan Reiki, two of the most attractive men on planet Earth, that they can't go out and have fun? What's the point in that? Who are you doing that for? You're just hurting Mother Earth there.
But also, if they play at home and they've got the bye the following week, it's you play the game, go have a week off.
But do they have the bye the next week? I'm sure the Broncos are playing Souths round 2 at Suncorp.
They do, but that will be in round. So they'll have a week off. So they'll play this game March 2nd. The official round will start
I'm with you.
March 6th or whatever, and that's the other six remaining games in round 1. Then the following week, so 2 weeks from Vegas, is round 2. So, they get that weekend off. So it'd be just like normal. Just they'd be out in Brisbane. They'd probably even some of them fly to Bali for a few days, whatever. If it's during the season, obviously not round 1 if you've got the bye. But if you're halfway through the season, you've got a bye, you're taking advantage of it. You're resting up the body and all that sort of stuff. So just let them. They're gonna have a night out. They're probably not flying home till Monday, Tuesday. I'd say Monday. So let them have a night out. Let them recover in via pool or some fancy place on the Sunday and just relax. And then
pressure is on Manly, the Roosters, and who's the and South. Pressure's on those 3 teams, because you don't want to be the lame team.
No,
you don't want to be the lame team with a curfew. Nah, sorry, we can't come out. Siebes says we have to get back. Well, Siebes not going to, is he? That video of him last year at the Maccas, he can have a good time.
Yeah.
He's not going to be imposing any curfews.
Well, he sets himself a curfew. It's whatever time he falls asleep at Maccas. Everyone's got to go home then. But, hopefully get to see the boys out, have a bit of fun, and engage with the fans as well in Vegas. Should be good. Mate, well, if you could pick out of the guys that don't have a curfew in the Brisbane side, who would be the odds-on favourite to get into some strife?
It's so tough, but
I think everyone would, like you said, everyone would gravitate straight towards Reece Walsh.
Yeah,
because
I think that's too obvious. I think that's too obvious. I think that's the easy pick. It's the coward's pick. It's not the pick I'm going to make. I think if Payne Haas has a new pair of shoes on, anything's possible. Anything's
step on his
possible
white
if he's
shoes.
got a new pair of kicks on. Anything's possible out there on the Vegas Strip. I think he's probably my outside favourite.
I had him as well. I also had whoever is hanging around Adam Reynolds. So not Adam Reynolds himself. He's old enough. He's mature enough now. But he's such a fucking pest from all reports that whoever's hanging around him, he's just going to irritate to the point where they snap, they get in trouble, they get kicked out, they get videoed by someone with a mobile. So I think just stay away from Adam Reynolds.
Yeah, I think also like a guy like Jordan Reiki, like you're going to tell me that there's a woman on earth that isn't going to leave their pommy husband that's on their holiday trip, and then as soon as they see that cheesy smile of Jordan Reiki, the most attractive man on the planet, like he's asking for it, really, walking around looking like that. And I don't know if Vegas has ever seen a man like that ever. Full stop.
No, Vegas has never seen anyone like that. Mate, Cooper Johns.
Yeah.
He has retired via one of the greatest Instagram captions I've ever seen. If you haven't seen it.
Do you want to read out the caption? It is such a perler.
Yeah. You want to I'll read it out. I'll look it up here. He so for anyone that doesn't know, Cooper Johns is joining Kyle and Jackie O. He's giving up football for a while. He's quitting football, so he's not retired, I suppose, but just giving it away for a little bit. But he posted this on Instagram with a couple of photos of him in Manly kit and Melbourne Storm kit, and he wrote, "I love my time in the NRL, but after some late nights pondering over a couple of schooners of Malibu and Coke, no sugar, I've decided to step away for a bit and switch out the leather pigskin for a microphone. Never in my days would I have expected such an outpouring of sorrow, grief, and emotion. But in all seriousness, I'll never forget the lifetime friends I've made and the ones I hope to never see again. In brackets, Brad Parker, Harry Grant, and Tyron Wishart. Just to name a few. The memories. So many to pick from. First game, first try, first off-season scandal shout-out to Munster and Hectic Cheese. And finally to all my coaches, particularly Craig Bellamy, who refused to select me regardless of mediocre form and numerous bribes. Don't expect a reference when you're looking for another club to drag through the mud. And finally, my family, who calls me nothing but stress. Get fucked. It's the end. Is this the end? Who knows? One thing I do know is rugby league is the greatest game of all." And then he's put in hashtag PMVP. So for anyone that doesn't know, and I just need to clarify a little bit here too, because I had a little bit of a thing to write. I posted the thing about him with a graphic, which was like his 19 games, 1 try, and 1, which is what he put in there, PMVP, pre-season MVP, which he declared himself, right? So there was a joke amongst Manly fans, that Manly players, that he was walking around saying he was the pre-season MVP after his performance in the pre-season challenge. So I just want to clear it up. People thought I was mocking him. I was merely just having a laugh. That normally these sort of graphics are reserved for 200 gamers, 300 gamers, something massive, right? I did it for him because I thought adding his stats in, it's a bit of a laugh. He would have get it. He has that type of sense of humour. I'm sure he would have laughed at it. But for all those who were butthurt in the comments with that's 19 more games than I'll ever play, I sincerely apologise that you can't take a joke. So just wanted to clear that up. But yeah, Cooper Johns retiring with going out in one of the all-time great fashions, as far as I'm concerned.
It's a massive move. He's gone to the biggest radio show in Australian history. They
just recently signed. Was it 20 years?
$200 million 10-year deal.
10-year deal.
$200 million 10-year deal.
And I know that's all made up of bonuses, and they've got to do certain things.
A lot of stock options in there.
Yeah, they're probably not guaranteed $20 million every year, but Jesus, that's a massive deal for radio. Everyone's saying radio's dead. This podcast, it's radio's still well and truly alive. If
they're getting
the knack for it, and these guys know him. They're friends with him, with Cooper, right?
Yeah.
They're saying, we love having him here. He's got a great sense of humour. Kyle Sanders gave him one of the greatest raps, saying he's funny. He has the natural humour. So if he's not giving him the all-time, and you don't just you get that over through your lifetime. You just don't come up with a sense of humour like that.
No.
So I say good on him.
I mean,
probably going to make a lot more than playing footy. But
that's the thing. He probably will. And like He's one of the funniest guys, and like all his You Foods ads have been hilarious. Anytime he's ever done anything with the Matty John shows, it's been hilarious.
Yep.
It's probably more suited to him. I don't know. Like he's a better footy player than I'll ever be. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's interesting at such a young age to see the writing on the wall and just go, all right, let me pivot into a media role. And he probably feels like he's been around the game long enough to get an understanding of the game, so he can be a pundit forever now, really. And like the John's name is the John's name, and he's funny as fuck.
100%. Like you mentioned his some of his Instagram stuff, some of his videos, just outrageously and just so much dribble. It was so good, so funny, well thought out. Like that takes a long time to plan some of that. So well done to him. I think he'll be a massive success. Like you look at guys like Bo Ryan, right?
Yeah.
Even he'll admit, like I'm not saying anything derogatory in saying that he wasn't the greatest footballer. He was a good footy player, and he played at the highest level as well. So
managed to steal a Cowboys finals game off us, but that's all right.
But
I mean, you can do as many Bonos as you want. Bono's cheating, as far as I'm concerned. 7 tackles.
Has done way better things now off field.
Yeah, absolutely.
In a media career. So. And did it the right way.
He's the blueprint, isn't he?
He's going about it the right way. He'll fit in well doing stuff with the Kyle and Jackie O and his own Instagram stuff, his own personal profile. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes over the next few years.
Absolutely.
What have we got next, mate? I actually skipped. I stuffed up. I went Broncos then Cooper instead of the other way around. But we pivot into Supercoach. Now I know you're a massive Supercoach guy.
Yeah. There's rumblings of my draft league. The group chat's been fired back up for the new year, and we're starting to talk about trades and how we're going to do things. But classic is what we want to talk about now.
Well, yeah. So I got into it when it first came out, and it nearly consumed my life to the point it will, right? And I know right now I just don't have the time and the effort to let it consume, because I know if I really get into it, I will start getting into the nuts and bolts, the numbers, and start crunching them and go, okay, I'll be spending way too much time on it. But we want to get into it where it's just, I think I just want to go head to head against you and me. We're going to start a group. We're going to get into Supercoach. We're going to be talking Supercoach on the pod throughout the year. It's not going to be a predominantly Supercoach based pod, obviously.
No, Guru and Timmy have that covered.
There's enough people out there that are more experts than us. Go listen to their podcast.
Did you see last year?
But also, don't get scared off thinking we're going to turn into a Supercoach pod. We're not. No. We're just going to have some. We're just going to have some fun with it, right? But we are going to start a group, and we'll have a separate place to talk about it, and maybe even have some prizes, whatever. But I just want to get into it where we can reference it at least 5-10 minutes each episode and go head to head and who our teams are and all that sort of stuff. But you're going to help me get into it, mate?
Yeah, absolutely. Supercoach normally opens up around the 26th each year, around Australia Days normally when they fire it up. So we'll get a group going as soon as possible. And like just on other people being better at Supercoach than us, were you at Magic Round last year when that guy went up to Timmy Williams and asked him he printed out his Supercoach team and asked Timmy Williams to sign it?
No.
You didn't see that?
I did not see that, but that is all time.
So I'm not in a position to start going head to head with beers and break evens. I guarantee you that, because I don't know if I could ever get enough Supercoach analysis out where someone would ask me to sign their Supercoach team.
I tell you what, that is something I want to attain. I want to attain at one point is someone to print out a meme that I've done, come up and get me to sign it. And the first person to do that, you will go into my Hall of Fame directory. You'll become my best friend.
Well, yeah,
but yeah, we'll get into it. We'll do some Supercoach stuff when
absolutely
when it all opens up. We'll start a group. We'll let everyone know via the pod and via the social media, and get into it, because I'm excited. I want to get back into it. I don't want it to consume my life, because I still want to keep my wife and kids around.
It will.
But yeah,
it simply will consume your life.
Give me some good tips and pointers, and I'll take some from the fans as well, from the back fences.
I'm happy to take you out of my wing and explain what my trades are each week and why they're going to be so much better than your trades. I'm more than happy to do that.
I'm sure you'll point me in the right direction of picking someone.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'd never lead you astray.
Do you know how, this is? So I did a draft league last year.
Yeah.
And just with a few old mates that were sort of. That's how I'm now getting back into it this year. And I couldn't make the draft day. I had something on. I set it to automatic draft. My second round draft pick was Cody Ramsey, who.
Oh, mate.
I was
auto draft?
I was gone from the very beginning. So
No. Cody Ramsey in the second round. Because he played three games a year before and he had a massively high average or something like
correct. Yeah.
Wow.
Flew under the radar there, stuffed up. So I was like gone from the very beginning. Ended up making the semis, which was okay, but bundled out.
That's a massive turnaround from a Cody Ramsey second round pick. That's huge.
Fought my way back, but we go on. And also, lastly, before we go, Hottest 100, NRL Hottest 100.
How exciting. When are we launching?
Very, very shortly. I'm trying to get the teams up tonight, Thursday.
Okay.
I don't think so. I'm probably looking next week.
Okay.
Voting will open, and then, as always, the Hottest 100 will be announced on the greatest day of all, Valentine's Day, February 14th.
Yep, of course.
The hottest day of the year. And, so voting will open next week. Stay tuned. You'll see via the social channels. I'll be posting that up. But, they're all Hottest 100 around the corner.
I love how every year people accuse you of, like, fixing it. Like, every single year. And they're like, this is rigged. And they get so worked up about it. It's such a bizarre thing to get worked up about. Like, you have some agenda as to why Nico Hines is hotter than someone else. Like, what message could you possibly be pushing behind the scenes? What agenda could be?
I'm a Dragons fan. I don't like Cronulla.
Exactly.
Right? So why would I want a Cronulla player to win that? I would not want that to happen.
I can't wait till the first. You'll do 100 through to 90, and they'll already be. Nah, this is rigged. This is rigged.
I love it that there's always someone that's up in the top 30 or 40 that should not be there.
Yeah.
And now I'm not saying guys are ugly or anything like that, but I'm not a person that should be in any Hottest 100 list, right? I can accept that. And there's the guys that know this in the NRL, but there's always this one player, and they're like, "How the fuck does this guy get in there?"
I'm just going to say his name's Dale Finucane. His name's Dale Finucane. I don't know how it happens every year. It happens every year. I know who we're talking about. It happens every year. I think it's the voice. It's the singing voice that gets him through.
Must be. There's also always one like Young Gun that I've never heard of, and there'll be a period where all of a sudden he's just getting all these votes, and it's like someone's teed up one of his mates, go, mate, come on, just add me in, just go and vote, create fake emails, because it's like, oh, who the hell is this guy that's creeping up, but he never gets enough to get in there, but it'd be interesting. So
I love it. I can't wait for it.
Next week, stay tuned, back fences, but that's going to do us for this Thursday, the 18th of January, mate. Well, less than, I think, 30 days till the first rugby league match of the year.
Mental.
How exciting.
Mental.
This time,
we're
in 4
a month
weeks,
out from pre-season.
I believe, we'll be watching a game.
Very exciting stuff. Very exciting stuff.
I fly to America the day the pre-season kicks off, which I'm dirty. Hopefully, Qantas has good Wi-Fi. I can watch the games.
You flying Qantas. Very fancy.
Yes.
You will be able to watch the games. They have live sport on there.
Oh, do they?
Fancy.
Sweet. Done. I'll be doing that. No sleep for the wicked. Mate, Donny, been a pleasure. Go downstairs and have a nice schooner on me, mate.
Oh, really? I'll just charge that back to Roast.
Yes. Just say Dean's got a cover.
I'll just go down and tell Stella. Dean said this was all right. Yeah, it'll be fine, yeah.
Give Scotty Minto a nice pat for me too. Say good day to Clutzy and Das. Tell him to get fucked. And we are out. Thanks, Donny.
Cheers.